Spencer started running.
Yeah, I hadn't really talked about it on the podcast because I didn't want to break the spell, but now I've basically stopped running so we could talk about it.
For a while, Spencer was tweeting there, I jogged 15 miles today and all this shit.
Yeah, I read those, the first one or two of those I thought was a little bit of irony or like you were being facetious, but no, you're really getting it.
Yeah, and that was only after I was confident enough in my skills to actually publicize it. I was going for quite a while before I was doing that.
Were you in a treadmill or were you out in the streets?
No, I was on Griffith Park, out in Griffith Park, running around in a big circle.
Now, is that why your back is all jacked up right now?
Yeah, that's what I think.
So your knee exploded, right?
Yeah, it's no good. There was a time.
I'm gonna get a drink while you.
There was a time that I was jogging, and then like when I'd be driving, my knees would hurt, and
Sorry.
Okay. Oh. For one reason, I thought that Chris is making that noise, but it's a soundboard.
Zach McKeever, our sound guru, told me to get some sound effects because we have no audience.
That's a bad fart sound. I mean, I guess it's like a free app fart sound.
That's a sound. That's a professional sound.
See, that's so bad.
Making a fart sound.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, Spencer.
No, it's fine. I'm just insulting. See, this is bad.
See, that one's called nose. That's someone blowing their nose, but that sounds like a better fart, doesn't it?
Right. Yeah. No, it definitely sounds like a better fart. We got to get you some good Foley artists to work with.
Oh my God, we do.
You should get a Foley artist instead of soundboard.
So we should have full-on old-timey like radio show Foley guys.
We can put them under your podium.
The story is going somewhere because Spencer hurt his knee, his back.
Yeah. So just while driving, it would hurt my knee while I was driving. And then I was like, oh, driving is fucking up my knee. And I kept running. But I think that running was fucking up my knee. And I was only feeling it while I was driving until it got so bad that I felt it after I was running. And then I was like, oh, I bet I'm fucking myself up. And it was bad. And so then again, it would only hurt when I sit and when I was driving. And it would be the worst because I drive for work and also I drive for recreation. I would say I drive between 2 and 3 hours a day, most days. And most of that's just for fun, you know? And so it got...
you just get out in the open road and just...
Oh, yeah. Blasting doughboys. It's a real fun time.
You went to get...
Well, I went to the doctor, but the day I went to the doctor, then I started getting what I think is sciatica pain, which is like on the side of your lower back. It feels
goes
like
down
a nerve
your ass
pinch.
cheek and down into your
I would feel it right under my ass and then in my foot, and it was like really bad. And so I went to see the doctor, and he was like, "Oh, it's just inflammation." I was like, "Well, there's this new thing that's coming up," and he was like, "Sciatica," and I was like, "I don't know what that is," and he was like, "It's like your legs burning," and I was like, "Well, no," and so he's like, "Okay," but then I looked it up after I left, and I was like, well, fuck, no, that was what I had.
He described it wrong. Yeah, if he had said a tingling or like almost like an electrical pain, shooting down your leg, just starting somewhere in your ass cheek and then going down. I had that really bad. I thought I was going to have to live with that forever.
What did you do? Nothing?
Well, the first thing that fixed it was an inversion table.
Oh, right.
But and then it started coming back, and I may have fucked up my back more with the inversion table. I was evangelizing inversion tables for a while. Then McGathy had gone to some chiropractor, and that's Dr. God, his name is Dr. Phil.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
And he doesn't like inversion tables?
Well, no, of course not.
He likes chiropractic.
Dan, I hear that in the medical community, Dr. Phil is known as something of a...
Right.
Oh, great. Yeah. If you wanted this to be a morning
I've taken this shit to a new level. People thought when we lost the audience, the show was going to suffer showbiz-wise.
No, we're reaching untold heights.
Yeah, this is real.
But you could have done that when there was an audience here.
I know. But
we're evolving.
We're evolving.
While the audience isn't here. It's kind of like being in a cocoon.
An opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so while the knee pain was bad, like this nerve pain was unbearable, and it came on a lot faster. And so I was like, I can't sit, which is a big part of my job. I can't drive, which is a bigger part of my job. I'm really freaking out. And then I couldn't run. So it's like everything that I had been doing with my life, I just all of a sudden couldn't do. And I was like, what am I doing with my life? And so I talked to Brian LaFata, and he was like, my brother does traditional Chinese medicine. You should see someone like that. And then I was like acupuncture? And he was like, sure. And so I was like, you know who does acupuncture? Steve Agee. And he also has terrible health. So I asked him what the deal was, and he recommended me to an acupuncturist. And I was like, yeah, because I got this sciatica. And he was like, holy shit, they really did wonders on my sciatica. And I was like, oh, yeah, jackpot. And so I went like 2 or 3 days later. That's the thing, is that I was scheduling these doctor's appointments, and it's like, we could see you in 2 weeks or whatever the fuck. But then the acupuncturists are like, yeah, come in tomorrow, like come in the next day. And I was like, hell yeah. So it was great, because at this point it was like another week or so before I'd get another doctor appointment, and I was in terrible pain. So I go to the acupuncturist. I couldn't sit down. Like, the drive over to the acupuncturist was like torture. It was really, really bad. And like by the time I was out of the car, I was like, I don't want to sit back down. And so I filled out the paperwork standing up. And then they brought me into this room that had like all this weird new age music and like relaxing music and a little steamy thing making vaporizing water into the air. And they laid me down onto a table. And I think this is part of it. There's like mystique. They like cultivate an air of mystique. Like, they don't tell you anything, you know? And there's things that I took as maybe cold reading techniques. She was like, you don't drink enough water. And I was like, I drink a ton of water. And she was like, I don't know. But I actually didn't drink any water that day. And like when I peed after I left, and like my pee was like neon yellow. And I was like, wow, she really was right. But so they didn't tell me what I was doing. She just started stabbing needles into my back, and it hurt really bad.
Really?
They go, I mean, not really bad. I mean, worse than a shot. But they poke it, and then I don't know why they do it, but they kind of push it in further or kind of twist it around or something. I think she was trying to hit a nerve or whatever, because then sometimes she would stab it right into like what felt like a nerve, and then it would just shoot like lightning down my body, you know? And I was like, you're trying to stay still, but like your whole body's like jerking because someone's stabbing you with fucking needles into your nerves, which are the things that are supposed to feel things the most, you know?
Yeah.
It was really crazy. So she put the needles in, and then she left me for a while and just left. And then she came back, and then she attached wires to the needles and was like, tell me when you feel it. And I was like, I don't feel it. And she's like, tell me when you feel it. And I'm like, what am I supposed to feel? And she was like, you'll know. And then and then eventually it started feeling like someone was like rattling the little needles because of the electrical shock. I don't know if it was jiggling the needles or whatever, but it was like, so now I'm getting electricity sent through these needles that stabbed into my nerves, you know? And and she turned up the power pretty high because I wasn't feeling it. And she was like, oh, you're a strong guy. And I was like, I don't know. I have a low pain tolerance. This is, you know, pretty painful to be stabbed. I'm just not feeling the lightning. But so then she turned on the lightning, and like it was just zapping my body, and like it was making my muscles twitch and stuff. And she's like, just hang out here. And I was like, for how long? And it was like, it felt like 20 minutes just with like this machine buzzing and like just vibrating my body. And I was getting like, it was making my nerves like light up and glow. It was really crazy. But it felt like it was doing something, because those very same nerves, you know, that were in terrible pain were the ones that are now like buzzing with electricity and stuff. So it's not like, it felt like something was happening. And then it eventually, the machine finished, and it made this like crazy beeping sound, and she came back in and she took it all off. And then I didn't know this was going to happen, because again, there's no communication. She just basically shows up and starts doing stuff. And she starts cupping me. You guys know about cupping?
Oh, yeah.
I do now, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
Cupping is so weird, it better work.
Yeah. I don't know. She cupped me basically on the same, if you don't know what cupping is, it's like a suction cup that they put, and then they use like a balloon pump or some shit to suck all the air of it. So now like your skin is like sucking up.
I thought the artisanal way of doing that is they put like a match in there,
yeah.
and then yeah,
right. But she was just using what sounded like a balloon pump. Like, you can't see because they put you face down at a table, and you're looking through like a toilet seat at a chair that's below your face, and like you don't know anything that they're doing. You just assume it's not placebo magic. But yeah, so she cut me in all these spots, and that was really painful. Like, that was like as bad as it is to be stabbed with needles that are shooting lightning through your body. Being cupped was really bad.
Are you gonna be mad at Levy if I saw the photo.
No, I know that happened. You could have just asked, man.
Well, no, well,
I'm the victim of revenge porn.
I didn't. Well, I didn't. You know, it's Levy. Levy had it on his phone.
No,
He's like,
I know.
Oh shit! And I saw it, and then I just. I'm not usually it was just like the airdrop thing came up, and I just before I even knew what I was doing, I just hit it. It was just
Why
like,
did it come up?
Well, I don't know. It was just there.
Yeah, that's not your fault if an airdrop window pops up.
Well, no, it was. I mean, maybe it's because I hit the share button. I don't know, but
yeah, okay. Well, that's what the story was. Yeah.
Well,
so you definitely did it.
I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like, well, this seems like a valuable photo. I wasn't going to show it to anybody else. I really don't know why that was my instinct. But you wouldn't show it to the viewers, would you?
No, that's what's embarrassing about that picture is not like it's everything but the cupping marks. Like I have weird acne scars on my back and then stretch marks and like way too much hair. Like I took the picture and I was like, man, I wish that my skin was better because these cupping scars are crazy, but this is like a gross picture.
Well, so anyways, I then take our word for it, Mr. and Mrs. America and all the ships at sea, like there's fucking like
you can see cupping pictures on online and it looked exactly like that.
It's just like,
except on my ass.
It's like giant hickeys the diameter of a softball.
Yeah,
I mean they
like
just,
a wine glass.
What's the idea? It's drawing toxins out of your
That's what they said. She was like, it's turning color. That means it's working because it takes stuff out of you. And it's like, it's turning color because all the oxygen is being rushed out of my skin to the surface of the skin because of a vast pressure differential. It has nothing to do with toxins, but it felt like anti-acupuncture because they were stabbing me before, and then those same spots they stabbed me, they were then sucking, air. I don't know. I don't know if it was
but they look just like bruises. Are they when you touch them? Do they hurt as much as a bruise that size would hurt?
One of them kind of hurts. The rest don't really feel like anything.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, but
because it looks like a straight up like paintball bruise. Even worse, really, just like deep purple.
Yeah,
like
it was really painful. It's like if you get an Indian burn, like they twist your skin on your arm or whatever. It felt like that for like 10 minutes while the cups were on my back. It was really bad, but. Also, they were making my muscles twitch with the lightning, and so then, like, the muscles that were twitching just felt like I had exercised them to death. Like, they felt dead and really, really, really sore. And so then, by the time it was finished, I didn't feel... like it wasn't crazy vast nerve pain. Like I still felt that nerve like acting up, but it just kind of felt like my ass was sore. And then I was like, wow, that's really crazy. And so, yeah, then I drove home and I wasn't in terrible pain on the trip home, which was the same journey, the same length trip. And then the next day I felt a lot better. And then the next day I felt a lot better. And today I feel basically nothing. I was like driving around all today. You can kind of feel it a little bit coming in after about an hour of driving.
You feel nothing as in a good thing. Like you're not numb. Wow.
Now I was told because I had a little sciatica like pain a while back, and I was told, and it instantly worked, is do sit-ups, do ab stuff.
Yeah, the one thing I looked up online was this one stretch where you put your leg on a chair and then you kind of pull your toe inward, and I kept doing that, and I think it was helping. There was one time I was driving and I had to like stop driving and get out of the car, and then I just walked around for a bit and then stretched my leg like that until I could get back in, and it was no good.
Here's the tough thing about back pain is your story is about the doctor said it's inflammation,
right?
And it could just be.
But that was my knee.
He was right.
He wasn't talking about the sciatica at all because like he didn't know that was happening, or he didn't understand it was.
Well, anyways, I mean, it's like it could have been because. It could have been something pushing.
It probably was
pushing your sciatic nerve, and then that just got reduced, and now we don't know if acupuncture works.
Right. That's the thing is that anytime I do anything like that, I always have to ask: is like if I didn't do anything, wouldn't I also improve to an extent over time anyway? Yeah. But I don't know. When I talked to Steve, he said he got it for really long bursts, and it didn't feel like it was going away. But then after that treatment, it just instantly started going away. So I don't know. But I mean, not like intuitively. I don't know.
I will say, now that I've been going to this chiropractor for as long as I have, I can definitely scientifically say, comparing it to 40 years of
other back treatments.
Yeah, of going to different chiropractors and then not going to them, or the inversion table, all that stuff. Like, whatever my chiropractor's doing is actually, it has me pain free. I really thought my whole family, it's the one thing that we have as a weakness on both sides of my family. Like, we have really strong tooth enamel, really strong toenails, strong the hearts, lungs, everything's, we don't have a lot of like streaks of like proclivities, for ailment going through my family tree. We just kind of drink ourselves to death or smoke.
Do you find that the strong toenails has benefited you and your family in some way?
Well, Cody was just pointing that out the other day. I was like, she's like, "Wow, you must be really healthy. Like these disgusting toenails that you need to clip immediately are really like I don't know what they're not flimsy and jaundiced. They're like eagle talons."
Yes, exactly.
If you're just joining us, I'm gross.
But if you haven't seen Dan swoop through your neighborhood and catch a squirrel, it's amazing.